All right, welcome everybody to Lunchtime Hustle. This is our first official episode. We had an introduction, but this is different. Uh, so today we are going to talk about the importance of pipeline, right? So it's the end of the month for me. Amanda's actually in a different type of cycle as far as her pipeline. In her month, sales month, so she's not as worried about that. But for me, it's the last day, right? So there's been a panic on all the sides. You know how things are. How are you feeling right now?
Customer and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I scheduled this on the last day of the month, but it's not the last day of the month for me. So I said, everybody's running around with a chicken with their head cut off. That'll be me in like 2.5 weeks. So my sales cycle starts on the 22nd every month. So we're really on like week 2, right? So, but yeah, I feel for you because for 15 years, I was on, the last day of the month was the last day of the month. So this has been very new for me for the last few months. But yeah, that
How,
last
how is
day.
that? How does that feel? Like, what's that like going from like basically the first to the end of the month to it's kind of like a week before, right? Like how does that work for you?
Yeah, for me, it's like whatever you can do that week before is like you're already like in it before the month starts, right? Because like in your brain, especially after 15 years, you still like are like, hey, this is where I want to be. Like I want to be at my quota by the 15th. Even that's still true today, right? So if my month closes out on the 21st, long as I'm good by the 15th, I don't have to have that heart attack close by the 21st. You know what I mean? On that day. So it still rings true to my date always being let's hit quota by the 15th, regardless if I'm ending on the 30th, 31st, or if I'm ending on, say, the 21st. So,
Mm.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I remember you telling me about that. I was like, man, that makes no sense to me. You're like, oh my god, I gotta get my things in, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, you got like a week or so left. You're like, no, it's different for me. So, kind of if you go into a new job for anybody, make sure you understand because some businesses are different. As far as their strategy when it comes to that. Um, so, like I said, we want to talk about the importance of pipeline. We don't want to talk about it from the standpoint of management, right? Management is all about reports. It's all about how things show up. It's about them not being on a report. But pipeline itself is important, and it's something that we've both realized as we're managing our business because this is your business, right? You work for someone, but the day to day is your business and what you want to make out of it, right? So, um, for me, I like to focus on a 90 to 120 day funnel, right? But for me, it's more because I feel like I can reward myself by the work that I do today, right? So if I do the work to build the relationships and to have the meetings and the follow ups, and even if it's not going to happen or nothing's going to happen for 90 days, in 3 months, I know I'm not going to have that issue, right? So, what do you think, Amanda, when it comes to like funnel management, when it comes to specifically like a 90 to 120 day funnel, like how has that helped you in your business?
So I run my business the same way. So like what I'm doing, so April 30th. Okay, so whatever I'm booking now or whatever conversations I'm having now, I know 9 out of 10 they're not going to close until say May, June, July. Like we're talking July, August, right?
Right.
So like that's far out. You're like, okay, well if I'm not going to have that opportunity, get that cross the goal line, then like what do I have right now, right? And it's really what I did say in January, right?
Right.
January, February, like you think back 90 days, that's where I am now, right? So it's like you have to be ahead of the game. Like we always say, you want to be like, whatever your quota is, at least 4, 5, 10 times it, right? And then it's like, because things are going to shift, customers are going to push, and your opportunities are going to like, maybe you missed a meeting, whatever it is, right? So it's always going to be a fluid transaction, but like I 1,000% agree with you. Like what I did today, how I showed up today and what I did will reflect that 90 to 120 days from now. So activity is so important. The prospecting never ends. Your foot is always on the gas because sales is a very high stress, but is a very high reward, job, and why we've done it probably for a very long time, right? So it's like I
Facts.
always say my motto is hard work always pays off. So if you're consistent, if you're about your business every day, you will be rewarded, you will get paid. And that is why I jump out of bed every day to get paid and take care of my family. So it's why I continue to show up every day. But yes, what you do today is really what's going to determine what those, future 90 days, 120 days from here. That's what I agree with.
Very, very true. And I'll give you guys a perfect example, right? Like I was telling Amanda this, like I like to work out every day. And a lot of times I'm leaving the house, packing my son into the car, there's a million things to pack. But sometimes I forget certain things, specifically when it comes to like my gym stuff, right? So um, the other day I came to the gym and I was just I came to the gym or getting ready to go to the gym, and I realized I didn't have my gym clothes. Specifically, I didn't have like a shirt to wear, so I was mad, upset. It takes forever to get back home, but I looked into my office and I realized that I had packed a couple of extra shirts. This had to have been like weeks, if not a month ago. So I was so happy, and I was honestly like thankful to myself. Like I was like, "Thank you, self, for doing this," right? Because something I did a long time ago rewarded me in that moment. So it's the same thing. You may have a situation where someone cancels on you, or you had a deal that was going to close and they pushed for whatever reason. If you have a significant enough pipeline, you're never worried about it because you always have someone else that you're working with, and you can move that person down the funnel, a month or two or a week or two, and you can continue to develop those current deals and get them to close. So always be thinking ahead and not thinking about the month that you're in. You should always be in a mindset of thinking a few months ahead. What do you think when it comes to missed meetings? Like, how do you handle missed meetings?
And okay, so for missed meetings, it's gonna happen, right? Something's gonna happen. They have a real life just like us, right? Maybe they have kids, maybe they have a sickness. Somebody told me the other day they broke their leg, unfortunately. So there's always gonna be something that's gonna happen out of your control, right? So I take it as like when you have that initial, like when you book the meeting, right? You have to continuously follow up. Maybe it's not like until you make contact, right? So sometimes, like today, I had one that missed a meeting. So once a week, I'm like, hey, we missed this meeting. I hope all is well. I just want to get on your books. May, it's already May. Like, how the heck did that happen? Like, we're already like in this fifth month of 2024. So it's like, before we know it, the year's gonna be over. So like, my calendar's booking up. Let's set a time, right? So it's like you just follow up until you make contact. And I think it's like how you handle that and how you be a human being and be relatable. Like, I totally get it. Oh my gosh, I hope you're okay. Like, I literally had that this morning. He's like, I'm so sorry I haven't responded to you, but I had an emergency surgery, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope you're well. And that's like, how I email is how I talk, right? So when people actually meet me, they're like, oh my gosh, I can like hear you saying that, right? But it's like, you're a genuine, normal human being because you're not like on the other side to be like, oh, well, okay, so does next Tuesday at 11 work? No, like that's like let them handle their business, let them take their time. They have to heal, recover, whatever. Like you will be there, right? So it's like, be a human being, be somebody that they know they want to work with in the future, right? I think that's the most important part. But like, don't be that pushy salesperson that like pushes them away where they never want to meet with you again, right? So I think it's always an opportunity. It's just maybe not right now. Maybe, like you said, you can move it to the future. Okay, so if this was something maybe we were following up on and it wasn't an opportunity you were actually working, then maybe you need to push it out, right? Like, be honest with yourself and your business and manage it in a way that it makes sense, right? So that's what I do with, missed meetings.
Yeah, I mean, same for me. It was something I learned. It's something that's actually been helping me is just remembering that human dynamic of it, and just showing apathy, empathy in certain situations, and just being flexible, right? Like if you even make the clients feel like, hey, I'm not depending on this, right? Like this is not going to make or break anything for me. This is just based off of our dynamic of what you need from me. So this can move at whatever timing it does, right? Even if there's a promotion that's available. If the promotion is available and you can take advantage, great. If not, we can move forward with our standard pricing. Like no problem, right? People just feel aided. They don't feel like you're dependent on them, which also may even like make them feel like, oh, this guy has other people that he's working with. I need to move forward because he or she has other business that they have to worry about, right? So it kind of builds that that two-way dynamic with that person that they understand your time is valuable and their time is valuable. So never put it into a situation where they feel like you're desperate, because
Yeah, I
it could
agree.
affect your business. It affect your business in more than one way, right? So, like Amanda said, use it as an opportunity. Continue to build rapport and trust. And like we said, if you have the pipeline available, it's not a big deal. You can continue to move forward, and bring them back into the fold when they need to,
Right.
right? So it's the end of the month, Amanda. It's heart attack close week for me. Not too bad. I did have some deals closed, but at the same time, uh, I'm in an industry where they just got to the point where they're being responsive to me. So it is definitely heart attack close day for me. I will say I'm in a place where I'm okay. I have about 4 or 5 meetings today, just because I followed some of the things that we talked about today. But I know for me, I would tell anybody when you're dealing with heart attack closes, if you feel like you're in a heart attack close situation, make sure it's not because it's something that you created. Okay, there's going to be situations where deals got pushed, meetings got pushed, people aren't responsive. There are a lot of things you can't control, right? And you may be in a situation where you have to find the business, or pray to the sales guys. But make sure it's not a situation that you put yourself in because you weren't being forward and future thinking in your pipeline and how you manage your business, right? What do you think, Amanda?
No, I agree. And I think when it comes down even to the last day of the month, right? In your situation, yes, you have 4 meetings, right? But okay, like at this time, okay, so everybody's joining us, lunchtime hustle, right? We're midday. So you're like, let me reflect on what I've done already for today, right? Because it's gonna
Right.
get chaotic. You're gonna be pushing things, but like you don't want to be in a situation at the end of the day and you haven't prospected at all. You haven't booked another meeting because remember,
Yeah.
Jonathan of 90 days from now is going to be proud of what he did today if he did what he was supposed to do, right? So it's all about setting yourself up for success every single day, every
Every
single
day.
day. So I feel that even on the heart attack close day, make sure you're setting yourself up for success. Make sure you're still prospecting, you're setting up your meetings, and also you're preparing, and we'll do a whole nother segment on this about how to prepare before your meeting, because I think that's
Yes.
what we need to do next. That is something that is so
Great
important.
idea.
So once you meet with those people, it can be the best situation on both sides, right? So I don't want to take too much of your time because I know it is the last day of the month for you. And I hope you meditate. I hope you walk or play ball, whatever you do, because you deserve it to take away, some time so you can like not, be so super stressed out. So, but yeah, but that's really it. That's what I think for the last day of the month to be successful. 90 to 120 days. It's so important what you do
Yes.
today.
Because at the end of the day and at the end of the month, what do we want to do, Amanda?
Man, we want to celebrate. We want to like
Make the money. We want
yeah.
to make the money. Don't
Yes.
pretend like you don't want to make the money. You do sales
I
to
always
make
want to make
money.
the money.
I don't know what that buttoned up answer was. You want to make money.
Yes, I want to make money. That is why I do
Yes,
it.
yes.
Absolutely.
That's what this really comes down to. Yes, everything for the flow, the meetings, the sales, but all of that leads to what you got into sales for in the first place, which is to make money,
Yeah, to
right?
get
And if
paid.
you're
That's what I said.
doing the
Hard work always
things,
pays off. Hard work always
yes,
pays off, right? That's
yes,
why you do it.
yes. And that's one thing, like when you get into a situation where a meeting gets canceled or someone's not being responsive, you can kind of get into this quicksand, right? Where you just don't feel like you can move really. You don't prospect for the rest of the day, right? You don't follow up on old deals maybe that you talked to 6 months ago, right? Like you have to continue to do the process even in those times where something may be disappointing, right? It's gonna happen, but the quicksand is the worst thing that can happen to you in sales because you're not productive. Every day needs to be a productive day for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that you guys got something from this. One thing I didn't say, we are on, if you're listening to this on a podcast, we're on all podcast applications, specifically Spotify and Apple, Podbean as well. Shout out Podbean because we use Podbean. We are also on YouTube, so we actually do a video. We start with the video, so you can see Amanda's sweet face. You can see my handsome, amazing face. you know, it's okay, guys. It's sorry that I'm handsome. Okay, you can agree. And then you guys can kind of just build a more of a visual relationship with us, right? So check us out. Collab Tactics is my business. That's the business that is under. Or you can search Lunchtime Hustle. That will start to come up more as you guys listen. So continue to listen. If you're following us on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can be notified when we post. We're working on our processes still, but eventually we'll be at a point where we are, we'll have a show up every week. All right. So, what did you have today for lunch?
Well, I made a yogurt granola with strawberries, blueberries, bananas with peanut butter and manuka honey for like a little early lunch, and then I'm gonna actually go on a 30-minute walk because it is beautiful. So I'm gonna get some, I always say, movement, music, and vitamin D. So those are like 3 keys to keep me ready to go for the afternoon. So yeah.
Very nice. Also, if y'all didn't know, Amanda has a fitness community too. It's called the Fit Farm Fam. You can follow her. She just went to Nashville. We'll talk about that on another segment. But she went to Nashville, ran a half marathon, had a PR, and crushed it. Nashville's hard to run in, but you can follow her at the Fit Farm Fam to see updates when it comes to nutrition and when it comes to different types of workouts you can do, and following her on her run journey. So free plug, Amanda, because eventually this show will be popular, and I just gave you free advertisement, but you also do this show for free, so I guess it pays off,
I love it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you all for joining. And like I always say, I don't know what I said last time, to be honest with y'all, but we're just gonna say make the money. Make the money for you and for whatever you want to do. There we go. Make the money for you and whatever you want to do. I'm going to write this down so I remember this.
Love it.
All right. Say it 3 times. Make the money for you. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all. Thank you, Amanda. Let's get back to it because I got to finish the rest of this sales day.
All right. Good luck.
Peace.